You're listening to Six Music. It's Tom Robinson introducing Fresh on the Net. And in tonight's guests, we have another band that I fell in love with on first hearing. Produced by Tajinder Singh from Corner Shop, Alberteen's cinematic 60s-influenced pop noir epic Girl and a Gun is finally getting a full-scale release in September. And tonight we're going to be finding out how the campaign preparations are progressing from bassist Aid Berry and vocalist Phil Shaw. Gentlemen, welcome to Six Music.
Hello.
The campaign kind of spreads over the summer. I see you stirring things up on your Facebook page and posting little snippets here and doing little gigs there. You've been playing the 12 Mile Club in London recently.
That's right.
Where do things stand? Is the record already mastered and kind of in the cutting rooms and stuff?
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to contradict you a little bit because there was an earlier version of the song Girl and a Gun produced by Tajinder Singh, but the version which is being released was produced by a gentleman called Mike Bennett, who was produced for The Fall and Ian Brown. So this is a new version and it's coming out on September the 5th?
September the 5th, yeah.
Now, when we say new version, does that just mean the same tracks remixed with a bit of extra stuff on, or is this actually a completely
re-recording? Year zero stuff.
Why don't we quickly take a listen to it?
All you need to make a movie is a girl and a gun. Come along and join the party. I'm still at the sun. The light has burned my eyes, and when the earth was dies, all you need to start a country is
Produced by Mike Bennett. That's the new version of A Girl and a Gun by Alberteen, which is being released on September the 5th this year from the band. Aid and Phil are with us today. Are you proud listening back to that now?
Extraordinarily proud. We were hand-jiving whilst you were playing that.
Well, now, that doesn't sound like a first record by any means. That sounds like an extraordinarily kind of confident, assured piece of songwriting where you know where you're going and quite knowing as well with those kind of images that conjure up Sean Connery era James Bond in the southern France. Sunshine, or trekking across Norway in skis
where we plan to
or
be.
something. Yes.
Yeah.
So, when did the band actually begin?
Years ago, we met at school. We're late blossomers, really, aren't we? I think.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we met. I joined the band. I was 14.
What year would that have been?
God, the 80s. The 80s is all. Yeah, the 80s.
You're both young men in that
We
case.
are.
Yeah.
We are. No, I joined the band. The first gig we ever played was at a college, and I had to get my mum to write a note to school to give me a day off because these guys are a bit older than me. So, and we were so nervous that she gave me and Phil some Valium. No, it's prescripted. Don't worry, my mum was anyway. But she was very supportive of the band. And actually, my mum had great taste in music, didn't she, Phil?
She did. She was a huge Dean Martin fan in Culture Club.
Yeah.
And now, in later life, you've both been, I think it's fair to say, high achievers. Phil, you're a professor of English.
Yes, this is my other identity. That's true, yes.
And an author, published author.
Yeah, a few books. Paddy Smith, I wrote a book on Paddy Smith a few years
A
ago.
bestseller on horses?
Apparently. And I've written on Waterloo and the Romantic Imagination and a book on the Sublime, so...
He's the clever one.
Well, I don't know about that. You're a playwright and a theatre director, as I understand.
Yeah. I've written. It's interesting. Most of the plays that I've written have all had a musical theme. So I wrote a play which was about a David Bowie obsessive and endorsed by Mr. Bowie himself as well. So and did a play called Jack Pleasure, which had the music of Barry Adamson within it. So yeah, I think there's always. It's interesting that even though throughout our lives are kind of slightly separate from Alberteen, but there's music always kind of works its way in.
And is there a literary reference to the name Alberteen itself?
I'm afraid to say there is. And we were casting around for a name, as you do, and John and I sat in a pub for a good 2-hour session with a huge list of names, and the only one we could really agree on was Alberteen, which, yes, I'm afraid to say, does have a Proustian resonance to it, but also happily is the name of a rose.
It's not as uncommon as you might think. The career curve where a band get together in their teens, they make some music, they go out and gig a while, and then kind of, quote-unquote, real life takes over and families, kids, career, those kind of things intervene for a while. And then when the immediate pressing business of getting young children brought up gets out of the way, people get back to it and they go, hold on, I actually used to really enjoy that and decide to go back to it. Is that some part of what happened?
It is. I mean, we all got together under slightly strange circumstances over a funeral, actually, a few years ago, and it kind of brought us back together. And I think we just found we couldn't have made the music we're making today back then. I mean, we're better, we're good, we've grown, we've matured, we've lived a bit, and I think that's made a huge difference to the music we make now.
Well, also, I take it you haven't stopped listening to music in the interim, because that's the other thing.
Never, absolutely never. Always been, and continued making and playing music ourselves, but just not as a band.
I think that's probably the biggest drawback you get from musicians in later life who then go back to it, is that they haven't updated their record collections, they haven't stayed open to new ideas, and so it always sounds like something you could have heard 30 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I still buy records, but I make a point now of just not buying old stuff anymore. I'm always stimulated and really excited by hearing new music, and it's what kind of keeps us going, all of us, really.
So now, can people see Alberteen live over the course of the summer, or are you saving it up for the autumn?
It's kind of summer. We're kicking off. We've got a single launch gig for A Girl and a Gun at the Bowery in Oxford Street on September the 8th. Then we're off to the Headstock Festival up in near our hometown in Nottinghamshire on the 10th. And we're playing Sheffield O2 Academy in October. So, yeah, there's quite a few dates coming up. Nottingham as well, yeah. A few hometown gigs.
And in the meantime, the B-side, what's that going to be?
Tamagotchi Landfill, which is an interesting title.
I like the title already.
We had to change the spelling.
Yeah,
it's a
we
brand,
did. Copyright issues and that sort of thing. But, that's one of those songs that came from an anecdote. A friend of ours was working in Vietnam investigating a factory and its premises and found a huge hole at the back of the factory that was just full of Tamagotchi toys. So, you know, it has to be written. That's the song.
And what about the video?
The video, a guy called Ian Pons Jewell, who's a video director, did Anna Calvi's video, actually. He was working with a load of kids on a project for the Nunhead Film Festival and made an amazing animation, which is the video. And it's kind of a, what's it called, morph?
Yeah.
Clay animation, and it's pretty psychedelic, and it's we're very, very fond of it. Very different to the other video for A Girl and a Gun.
So if people would like to A, see that video, B, preview Girl and a Gun in its present form online, what's the address to find you?
www.alberteen.com. Alberteen's got 2 E's as well.
So it's spelled Alberteen as in teenager at the end.
Because we're so young.
Because we are young at heart.
Gentlemen, I wish you every success with the single.
Thank you.
And when's the album?
The album's going to come out early 2012.
We'll look forward to it.
It's called Metal Book.
Metal Book it is.
Yeah.
Come back and see us again soon.